Hello, you amazing friends. This is your pal Edwards here speaking, and I trust you well. And it's so good having you with us on this beautiful day. It's a beautiful Friday, 22nd of November 2024, and it is absolutely wonderful in Sydney. I'm very pumped, actually. Today, we've got a very, very special guest, the amazing Cristina Davy. And Cristina Davy is a great lady. She's joining us shortly. And we're going to be talking about the crazy world of breakups and dating and more. And I got to say, Cristina Davy is such an amazing lady. She's in the zone. She's great. She's wonderful. She's a winner. She loves you. She loves democracy. And she loves helping you win big. And let's applause. Let's bring onto the stage the amazing Cristina Davy. Cristina Davy, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. So good to be here. Thank you so much for having me again.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And you sent me an email before, and I now know your first name. Can I tell everyone your first name? It's actually a really cool name. Or is that a secret?
Oh no, that feels so vulnerable.
I won't tell you, but Cristina Davy, I know her first real name, and we're not going to tell you. You only find out if you hire Cristina Davy. If you hire Cristina Davy,
it's totally okay to please do. I was just kidding. I'm an open book. Whatever goes here goes out there.
No, I don't want it now. Like, you only find out if you hire Cristina Davy. So you have to hire Cristina Davy, but I know your first name. It's actually a really good name. I like it. It's a cool name.
I never realized you didn't know that. Yeah, I'm using my middle name.
Yeah, gotcha.
I'm using my middle name, Cristina. When I was 16, I just decided my first name was not really suited for me. Have you ever had a thing like that? And then I just decided I'm gonna go by my middle name, which was very confusing for my parents, that's for sure.
There you go. It's your stage name. It's your big stage name. And I just want to say it's so good to have you with us, Cristina Davy. And if you just come in, friends, we're streaming this through Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and, of course, Elon Musk's X. So if you see us anywhere, leave a comment, hit that like, sharing comment, and so honoured to have you with us. And I'll be tracking as much as your comments I can from my beautiful mobile phone. Now, Cristina, we're here to talk about breakups and dating. And I tell you what, it hits a nerve on a lot of people. And as we were talking before, right, we just had a quick chat on the phone this morning. The biggest thing I see all the time is I meet so many women, very attractive, very successful women. They're over the age of 30 and they can't find a partner. Right? It's just not working out. And I hate to say, at the moment they hit 35 and more, there are so many amazing women who are just amazing. They just haven't got partners, and I'm kind of blown away and shell-shocked by it. What's your reaction to this one? Because I see this day in and day out.
Oh, I can go in so many ways too. I can answer to this question in so many ways, but I think I'll start with this and then I'll go to something else. I think in today's times, the pressure of being in a relationship or marriage, traditional marriage, has kind of dissolved. Women can take care of themselves now. They can be the provider, and men can take care of themselves too. Like, they can even parent by themselves and be totally okay. So I think we just became a lot more self-reliant. And there's not such a taboo to be divorced either, So we choose to be single because I think we associate so many great things about being single. People think like, I don't want to have the, headache of having someone in my life telling me what to do, doing the ironing, having to cook for him. And I'm like, who says that you got to do that? I'm definitely...
But jumping in there, what I mean is, if I can jump in there, what I mean is I meet so many women who want a partner. What I mean, it's not like they're saying no and they're single. They desperately are looking for an amazing partner and they can't find one. So they want to do it, but it's just not working out. And I meet them day in and day out. That's what I'm more getting at.
Yeah. So to respond to that question, really, is, well, I really think that people are lacking the skills. They just don't know what they are bringing to the table.
Yeah.
I spoke about this in my last masterclass.
Yeah.
What is it that we bring to the table when we go dating,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To make someone really want us to invite us for another date. So, so what do we bring to the table? Meaning sometimes we kind of know who we are. We are worthy, we're beautiful, we're smart, I'm making my own money. But when I go out there on a date, I might be also shut down, kind of cold, a little bit not aware of how I'm coming across. I'm not really trying anything I'm not doing anything that's going to sparkle that connection. People think connection just happens. Actually, no, there are a lot of things that you can do to add that connection. And unless you know what to do, it won't happen.
Yeah. I think it's incredible, actually. I think it's incredible. One thing that blew me away with Lassie, right? Lassie and I met later in life, and I couldn't believe Lassie was single. So I went after her straight away, and thank God she said yes, because she's miles out of my league. And I just find it amazing. I still to this day find it amazing. So many beautiful, amazing women. I see it all the time, who want to meet the right partner and they don't. And that brings me to, I have a stack of questions for you, and can I hit you with some questions? Oh, you're going to say something, Cristina?
Yes, I was going to say something. What I love about what you just said about you and Lassie was you saw the value in being with Lassie and you went for it and you're decisive.
Yes.
I sense a lot of undecisiveness in today's men.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And hesitation, okay, because there's a lot of fears and they don't want to assume the responsibility of being in a relationship anymore because they can get everything and the cake and the cherry and not have the responsibility of being in a relationship, you know what I mean? And not have to have the accountability and the consistency on showing up and that dedication into it as well. So sometimes it's just easy to just go with the flow, as they say.
Yeah. And just adding to that, I'm now going to sound like a right-wing Trump supporter and Elon Musk lover, which I am. It's also the war on masculinity as well. Like, in other words, fortunately, this is leaving our culture, but it's a whole toxic masculinity thing. Like, if you're too masculine, you're toxic and you're part of the problem. You're part of the patriarchy. And I think a lot of it as well, it's again, this is leaving the culture. Thank God, Trump's in, which is great. But I think it's the whole war on masculinity too, as in they want to feminize men and they want to masculinize women. And then they all wonder why society isn't working and everyone's really sick and and why there's a rise in antidepressants. What are your views on that one?
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Women want masculine men, and when they're masculine, they reject that often. They don't understand it. So we want, who was saying, one of my former clients used to say, I want a man, I want a hairy woman, not a man. I want a hairy woman, right? So that means like, hey, I want a masculine man who can be like a woman.
Okay, that's bizarre. That's just getting bizarre. It's but I know exactly what you mean there. But I think that's a big thing. I think it's the and thank God again we're moving to more of a right-wing culture. I think I blame a lot of it on the left-wing culture that's run this planet for a long time. The left-wing culture has really messed up our planet and really destroyed relationships. So I'm so glad we're moving. I'm so glad it's okay to be a woman and it's okay to be a man. I'm glad we're moving more in that direction. Do I sound like a right-wing conservative now? Do I?
I can see how you're navigating towards politics.
There we go. Yeah. If anyone from Sky News is watching, I'm available for any interviews, or if you want to give me my own show, I'll take that too. So carry on, Cristina.
I really think we got to become a little bit more aware about and embody masculine and feminine parts of ourselves and become more aware of when to use one or another and understand it in the other person as well. So if we ask a man to be masculine, for him to be able to connect with us and hold space and communicate from the heart and all of that, he needs to transition into his feminine side, really. I feel like there's a lot of lack of awareness around that, the differences between us and how beautifully we are actually complementing each other. We are more likely to point fingers on the differences rather than understand what's good about being different. Like, look at you and Lassie. Look at you and Lassie. You and Lassie like complement each other so well. Each one of you is really good at something, and you're not like competing for, or like pointing fingers, like you're not doing this, right? You just work together, and it works beautifully.
Yeah. There you go. Well said, Cristina Davy. Now I'm going to hit you with some questions. Are you ready for the questions? Right. And a certain woman I now know your first name, but again, you have to, only Cristina Davy can tell you her first name. But I love your first name. It's really cool. It's very Eastern European, actually. It's a cool first name.
Why don't we let everyone guess?
No. Oh, you can guess, but we're not going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell, but they got to guess in the comments. What's my first name?
Yeah, we should do a poll. We should do it. You should do something on LinkedIn. If you know, don't answer. If you don't know, try and guess my name. That'll be really good. All right. So I'm going to hit you with the questions that I have right here on a beautiful mobile phone. Question number 1. What are the common challenges singles face after a breakup, and how do you help them?
I think it's hard to really believe that you're going to be able to have the connection and love that you have just had and more.
Yeah.
So people find it really hard to move on from breakup because of how they relate to it. And often we feel disempowered. We feel like we're so focused on the loss, what we are not having anymore. And we don't have the strategies of knowing how to move forward with ease, because the reason, like, I was in a toxic relationship and in domestic violence situation. And until I hit that pain, that threshold, right? That pain, not to go back. I keep going back because I thought there's nothing else out there. Every time I was trying to go and meet someone else, I didn't have the level of connection that I had with this other guy. So it made me go back. But all it was I didn't have the knowledge, the skills, knowing how to move forward, with ease. And can I just say, time doesn't heal wounds. People think like, I'm just going to stay single, and in time it's just going to go away. No, that just stays with you suppressed.
Yeah.
Have you had like a nasty breakup, or like a breakup when you felt, really hurt and betrayed?
Totally. Yeah. Of course, before I met wonderful Lassie, I was in a relationship some years back, and that person really took advantage of me. So they really took advantage of the money I had. They really took advantage of my social status. They really took advantage of my business connections and that as well. And what they did was they basically took me for a 6-month joyride, and I was embarrassed. It wasn't just... did they break my heart? No, right? So I was kind of sick of them anyway. But what I mean is that they really publicly humiliated me, if it makes sense. So I was a laughing stock at the time, and it was a different sort of emotion. It wasn't like, she stabbed my heart with a sharp pencil, but the public humiliation, and I was embarrassed. I was ashamed, and I had to deal with a lot of sort of business and political fallout. So it was funny. It made me angry, but not for the common reasons you'd expect.
Was it more about the public humiliation, like how she acted, right?
Yeah, well, it was sort of like, exactly. It's how they behaved afterwards. But also too, it made me look like the laughing stock, which I was, right? So a lot of my detractors yeah, they had something to get me with. It's like, look at it, he failed again. It's like bang. So it gave fodder to my opposition as well. And it was really bad. And the big thing about me was that I didn't have a broken heart though. I was kind of pissed off at him, but it was just funny. I understand different ways breakups can hurt. They can make you feel bad about yourself. They can cost you money. They can make you ashamed. And that brings me a good question. I'm going to ask you a very gendered question. Men and women, do you see differences, generalizing, of course, do you see differences on how men and women handle a breakup?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. I think men are more resilient. They get over a lot quicker than women. Women tend to, they feel more and they tend to hold on to those feelings a lot more. You see a lot of men moving on a lot quicker, being able to start eventually. Would you agree? That's what I'm observing. But women tend to, because I think for women, safety is really important, feeling safe. And because they are, after a breakup, they might not feel safe. They tend to just withdraw and not really put themselves out there. They tend to just protect themselves. And I think that's more for women than for men. But either way, like I would love to hear from our audience, what are they thinking? How was it for them?
There we go.
Was it easy or was it hard?
Incredible. I gotta say, I love where you're going, Cristina Davy. And that brings me to our next question. Let's say you get a client that's been through a breakup, like a new client's been through a breakup. What do? What's the process you walk them through? How do you get client who's upset dealing with the fallout from a breakout and turn it back into a dating pro again? What do you do?
I'm looking at what's the outcome that they want. What is it that they want to feel? What is it that they want to do? Or some people want to start, dating right away. So we are looking at goals. What are their goals? What is it that they want? Like I spoke with someone today, on a session, and she wanted to let go of the pain, right? Of the pain of the breakup or the pain of what she was feeling about something specific, right? So usually I look to see like what's in the way of them feeling or being able to do what they want to do. And usually there will be some sort of limiting belief or some sort of like something that they're saying or they're doing that is not really aligned with their goals. So if you have someone that cheated on you and you decided to break up because they cheated, most of the time you're going to feel betrayal. You're going to be angry. You're going to feel the sadness, the grief of the relationship. All these are keeping us really down, and they're making us think like we go in like a fearful sort of mindset, And people want to protect themselves. So if they're gonna want to protect themselves, how are they going to connect with others? How vulnerable?
I suppose they won't. They won't. It's like, I'm going to keep my guard up, and there you go.
And then they go out on dates, and they can't connect with anyone. Meanwhile, they have walls this big, people can't even see them because they're trying to protect themselves. So they're so focused on protecting, and they're telling themselves stuff that supposedly it's protecting them, but it's bullshit, because that's also actually keeping them away from feeling the love, the connection, the chemistry with someone. So I'm just helping them identify what's in the way. What is it? Decide what's the outcome you want. And then I'm looking to see what's preventing you, what strategy, what self-sabotaging technique, what is it that you believe about yourself? How can we help you trust again? Right? If lack of trust, it's the problem. Or sometimes it's the lack of skill of knowing how to have a healthy relationship. So people think good relationships are just happening when you meet the one person and everything is fine. No, you gotta have the skill to know how to navigate those relationships, those challenges. Have you ever heard this saying before? Every man and woman you meet or you choose for yourself comes with a set of problems.
Oh yeah, totally. We we're all a package, aren't we? There's the light and the shadow, right? The light and the dark side.
That's it. So nobody, and including ourselves, I come with my own set of problems. You come with your problems.
No one has more issues than I do. So Lassie will tell you. I'm a walking ball of issues, I can tell you. Poor Lassie, the shitty girl. Amazing.
You are an awesome package. I know you are an awesome package. I know you now for a long time. Yeah. And that's why Lassie, just decided, okay, this is it. I'm going for it.
And just jumping in there, I think it's a real problem in relationships. And, where what happens is that I find, and you're going to laugh at this remark, I find you get a lot of the more toxic people in a relationship. So you always, if you have a relationship and there's someone who's a bit toxic, right? This is what I find they do all the time, right? They will pin their partner on all the things that they're doing wrong, right? Yeah. But the moment their partner points out something on them, they can't take it. So it's a very, very one-sided battle. So I remember going back to that relationship example where I was a laughing stock, where I started to really lose the plot with that character is they made me a stack of promises they just never delivered on. And I just started calling them out on all their promises, right? And so they would always be calling me out on doing stuff. And the moment I pointed the pencil back at them and said, what about this, and this? Oh, they couldn't handle that. And that's the thing that I find is I find a lot of people, they're not, it's like they're awesome. They've got no problems. And their partner's the one causing all the issues. And then they run around and wonder why everyone hates them. I'm sure you've met a lot of people like that. What's your take?
Yeah, blaming. You're talking about blaming. Yeah, people focus on blaming a lot. And we all do it at one point or another. But I do believe that being able to own it, being able to know how to bring something up. Hey, I'm not feeling this, or I'm not, that's really important, right? Instead of, I feel like people attack people's character, that happens a lot. We point fingers and we attack someone else's character instead of really staying curious and understanding, hey, what's going on here for you? Let me find out, like, how, what are you experiencing? Why is this happening this way, right? So we don't really seek to understand. We're so quick to blame. And the power is outside us when we blame, because it's about them. There's nothing we can do. We are completely powerless.
Yeah.
That really sucks for me. So I'll rather look at how am I contributing to this, and I'm okay for you to tell me, hey, look, this is how, this is what I need more of you. This is, blaming can really cause a lot of breakups and defensiveness. Instead of owning, we defend ourselves.
Yeah. Amazing. Now I want to ask you, tell us some of your success stories. What are some cool and interesting, I know you've had heaps of cool and interesting wins. What are some of your more interesting ones with a bit of storyline and context?
The one that I'm bragging about the most lately is this lady that I met last year. She's from Sydney, and I met her last year in October. I met her at BW, and she was single for quite a few years, and she came to one of my meditations, the free meditations that I did, and she realized that actually she didn't have dating skills at that point. So she came and did my group program. And then when I prompt her to take action, because I keep people accountable as well. I don't just, because it's so easy. Anything that happens stops us from dating. Everything like dating is not important. So then dating is never important. So like it never happens for years. So when I start keeping her accountable, what we realize is that she had a limiting belief, thinking she had to be a certain way, and they had to be a certain way for her to put herself out there again. Okay. So I started doing some one-on-one coaching with her, and she shifted that right away. And together she started dating. So I met her in October. She started dating at the end of December. She met her partner. Listen to this. She met her partner on the third or fourth date online. And this was a guy that came from United States. She used to be Australian, and he was living in the United States. He came over to see his parents. So this was not even happening here. So this was a long-term relationship for a while that I helped her with it, because I'm not a big believer in long distance relationships.
Oh, nobody is.
But I really saw good potential in there based on how he was showing up. So I helped her navigate that. She got engaged this year in July, and he just moved in September. He moved all the way from United States, sold everything, and moved to live here in Australia. And they live together now happily after, in less than a year.
That's funny. It's usually the other way around. One of our great friends, Tamara, she's exactly that. She went to America for a visit, and then a guy grabbed her and kept her there. Tamara, if you're watching, we love you, Tamara. Yeah. So in other words, she yanked the American here. It's usually the Americans yanking the ladies over there.
And this is what I mean, and it ties up with what we were talking at the beginning. This man was decisive. He was like, hey, I see value when and I go for it. Like, I'm not going to muck around and just take it slow and think about it. No, I'm seeing value in this woman. I want to be part of her life. I want her to be part of me. And they're together.
That's when I met Lassie. So when I met Lassie, I said to myself, she's awesome. Even if she says no, yeah, I'll be heartbroken if she says no, but I'm going to go for it, right? And I agree with you. And I want to have a shot at a lot of men now. I'm going to have a shot at, I'm not having a shot at men. I'm having a shot at leftist, anti-masculine culture that's feminized men, and how the left has destroyed the planet, and how the right wing's the way to go. So what it is that, men need to be men. I think the big problem is if men meet someone they really like, go for it. Like, one thing that makes me angry, right, is, and I know this is TV and it's all fake, but you watch TV shows and there's a guy and a girl getting together, but the guy just can't express how he feels.
Yeah.
I get so angry. It's like, just say it. Anyway, I know the show's trying to do that, but I find it frustrating when men don't express the way they feel to their partners, and they hold themselves back because of afraid of rejection. I find that appalling. What do you think?
Well, it's definitely a big block in feeling love and feeling like if they're not going to go for her and they're not going to express how they feel, she's not going to be able to connect with them.
Yeah. Why would she be happy if a woman's with a guy that's like, too much of a weak, effeminate guy to actually say what he wants? Why would a woman be interested in that? I wouldn't expect them to.
Well, we got to see what's preventing them from being vulnerable. Why are they having, look, you are one of the most vulnerable people. Like, you just say it exactly how it is, and you put yourself out there, and you're like, this is it, this is me, take me or leave me. And some men,
and I get trolled daily, so I'm used to it. There we go. I get at least one good thread a day these days. So that's really good. At least one good thread.
So you eating threads, like butter on bread, for more, like in the morning.
I feel like some butter on bread now. But anyway, carry on. Some butter on bread.
Yeah. So I think that men view talking to women as weakness, and if there's no point of this conversation, why are we even talking about? And women need that talking to connect with men, and women also need to soften up a little bit, because there's such,
it's a masculization of women.
That's it. Just putting a man off because, hey, I don't need that. I already have that. I need the opposite of that. Or can we alternate this? Can we all be sometimes soft and nurturing and loving and strong and masculine and driven and logical and rational and parking our feelings? But imagine what will happen if we will all be more understanding of each other and understanding how men and women think, and based on that take decisions on what to do or how to talk or how to show up when we date.
Love it. Yeah.
This is what I'm trying to do. do, this is what I'm trying to do in a membership that I have launched this year in October, is for men and single men and women who are willing to really look at themselves as becoming. Hi, Angela, how are you?
Angela's awesome.
Who are they looking at themselves? What is it that it's up to me? This is the thing, if I'm doing everything right, because I mean this all the time, I'm doing everything right, but I haven't had a partner, or I haven't been in a relationship for 6 years, let's just say. And then what I'm hearing is, oh, I can't meet anybody high value enough, or the ones that I like, they don't like me, or, well, what's that telling you? To me, it's telling me they don't have the skill, or there's something preventing them to go where these other people are. Like, why is not happening? If you know it all, why is not happening for you? If you're doing everything right, 1 + 1 = 2. If you're doing everything right and there's nothing that you got to work on, why is not happening for you?
Yeah. I'm going to give and I know you're a meetup leader as well. We're both meetup leaders. I'm going to give the meetup argument for meeting relationships. Now, interestingly, a bit of trivia for you, everyone. So Lassie and I, we run a big business networking meetup network across Australia and globally through our Zooms. And Cristina in Sydney runs a really good social mixer that partners with our business networking event. So what we have is we have our business networking event during the day, and then it transitions to Christina's social mixer at night. But what's interesting is in our business networking meetups, people connect and start as in romantic relationships all the time. And the thing I love about Meetup, being a meetup leader as well as a LinkedIn guy, if you go to heaps of different meetups and events, you're going to meet so many people. The probability of meeting someone you really connect with increases. What's your take on that one, Cristina?
100%. But people don't really expose themselves, or when they go to events, they're not really open to connect that way as well, which sucks. So I agree with you. Yeah, like they need to go, hey, go to Edward Zia. I tell this to everyone, go to Edward Zia business networking meeting. Come to my events, come and meet some people. But if you're not doing anything about it, people are not going to come knocking at your door and like fall onto your lap.
There you go. There you go. Unless you pay for it. Oh, don't go there. It's terrible. So there we go.
Funny enough, have I told you that that's how I met my partner? He came to buy my pool table.
No way. We'll hear that for a second, but we just got a great share from Angela Johnson. I'll put it up on the screen so we can see it. And I want to hear the pool table story in a minute. It sounds a bit too hot for LinkedIn, but Angela Johnson, just want to say a big thank you to Angela Johnson. If you come in, hit that like, share, comment. If you've got any questions, I'd love to hear it. Now let's read it out. Hi, everyone. It's Angela Johnson. My issue is at the 4 to 6 week mark, I get dumped with weird excuses. I'm a pretty nice person. I give 100% right in. Should I step back? Wow, I've got some thoughts on that one, but I want to hear from Cristina. Cristina, your reaction. And thank you, Angela, for your authenticity. We appreciate you.
I was going to say the same thing. Thank you, Angela, for your vulnerability. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. A great quality of a woman. So if you see a pattern, that means you got to change something within yourself. So there's something that's not happening when you go on those dates. For the men, you see, you see Edward, right? He saw the value, he went for it.
Yep.
Can I ask you, Edward, how did you feel next to Lassie? When you were with Lassie on a date, how did you feel like?
A little bit nervous, but a good sense of nervousness. So when I started dating Lassie, I was very nervous, but I felt absolutely amazing about it. And Lassie's right there, and she's got a chainsaw with her, and she's about to start it up. No, just kidding. But no, I felt really good. I felt that when I saw the thing when I first met Lassie, the thing that sort of I've said this to her millions of times. The thing I thought about Lassie is, Lassie's such a high value woman. I was surprised that she was single. Like when I met her, I was like, oh wow, I'm really surprised that you're single. And I'm not stupid. I knew that if I don't get her now, someone else is going to get her, right? So I just took the attitude, I'm just going to go for it. If she says no, yeah, I'll be heartbroken, but at least I know I went for it. And I think I just went for it. And it just felt good because as I spent more time with Lassie, the relationship just worked. And But I think as well, it was also me as well. I decided to go for it. I wasn't holding myself back. I invested in it. Now I remember that was a big, watershed moment for me on that one.
So with Angela, it could be, thanks for sharing that. With Angela, it could be a multitude of things. And that's why I need, to talk to someone with a situation like that, because I need to understand sometimes it's the choice of dates. So not everybody knows how to filter people, so we need to become a little bit better at picking who we give our time to. And it could be basically the quality of the man, the type of man that she might go for. We all have a point of attraction with someone, and it's unconscious. So with my clients, I'll work on that. What's your point of attraction that's unconscious, that's causing this pattern into your dating process? If they dump with weird excuses at about 4 to 6 week mark, it could be that who she's picking or who she's going for is not good quality. It could be that what happens during the dating process, there's not enough chemistry. They don't know how to maintain the chemistry and connection. And then we need to move into the bonding. So what's telling me, Angela, it's a very attractive woman. I can see her photo there. And I just want to say, like, wow, much, right?
Looking at a photo, she's a hot blonde lady. Is that right?
Yeah.
Let us know if you think you're a hot blonde lady, Angela. That's what I can tell by the Facebook thumbnail.
She won't have a problem attracting, but she might not know how to create connection and to sustain the connection and to create and maintain the bonding that gets a man go like, I'll be stupid not to go for this woman and grab her.
Yeah, but my reaction is the bit that I want to react to, and Angela's actually made a few good points. So we'll come to that in a second, Angela. My point of contention is, and I don't think I'm wrong, so I'm just going to say it, is Angela dating losers? That's my question. And if I can say this, Angela, no disrespect to you, Angela, I'm wondering, are you the one who's in, so in other words, I'm wondering, is Angela in the right? But her mistake is she's just dating losers. That's my sort of point of contention. What do you think of that one? Is that too brutal, or do you think I'm on the money, Cristina Davy?
You're both on the money and brutal. So I wouldn't say she's dating losers, because I don't like the word loser.
Yeah, losers. Drop the zero. Get yourself a hero, Angela.
But I will say that the quality of the men, and who she's attracted to, needs to change. So who she's giving her time to, yeah. So I'm just wrong.
That's what Angela said. That's what Angela said. My daughter says yes. There we go. So Angela's daughter is on the money. So I don't know, Angela. I don't know you. I don't know your daughter, but your daughter's awesome. Sorry, carry on, Cristina.
So yes, I go on the principle that both parties are contributing to this. So if I'm just saying that she's just picking losers, all I'm doing is I'm putting the blame on the man, which in some way they might. But she needs to become better. She needs to learn how to pick better.
Yeah.
Is it making sense?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. They chase me for 1-2 weeks, then it dwindles. I always think it's going well, then boom. So what do you think it is, Angela? What do you think it is? You see, sometimes women just give too much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Too much too soon. And then there's no challenge for the men.
Yeah.
If I give it right now and you just give it to me, and I'm not talking just about sex, it's just that women are so independent and they just want to show and prove the man like, hey, I don't need you. I can be on my, and that's actually very off-putting for a man. It's not attractive at all.
Yeah. Just reacting, we got Carol, Noreen, Margaret, Mieka with us. I just want to interject there. And Carol has asked a really, really good questions. And I've actually got some answers on this one. Now, why would people seek losers? Now, Carol, I've got some answers to that. But Cristina, I want to hear what you think on that one.
No, you go first and then I'll tell you what I think.
Okay. I'll tell you why people seek losers, right? I'll tell you why people seek losers. So my first issue is you may not realize they're a loser. So you might look at a person and think they're awesome, but they're actually a loser. So it's not that they're necessarily seeking a loser, they're being hoodwinked by a loser. And secondly, it comes down to the self-values. So if someone doesn't, I've seen this all the time in business, if someone doesn't value themselves, they're going to be attracted to a trashy type of partner. If someone has high standards for themselves, all right, you take over, Cristina. I'm not here to cut your lunch. It's your job to talk relationships. I'm a boring leader.
No, I wanted to, because you always have great insight. That's why people come to you, right? All the time asking for advice. So people go for, again, I don't like the term losers, but people that are not high value because of how they feel about themselves. So even if we are super smart and great looking and we have assets and we have everything happening for us, how we feel and think about ourselves is what's going to actually really influence us in who we pick to spend our time with.
Yeah.
So we might not go to places where they're high value people, and therefore if you have 10, if you go into a room, okay, and there are 10 people that are single, you're gonna just pick the one that really suits you based on how you feel. So there might be someone more attractive than all the others, but you might feel like you're not at that caliber, and you're not gonna go for that person. You're gonna go for who you're feeling comfortable with. So we go and we pick people who we feel comfortable to be with. And sometimes if we think something negative about ourselves, we could potentially pick someone who is not even, and I've done it myself after my divorce.
Haven't we all? I certainly have back in the day.
And I knew, but I didn't feel like I could really achieve that. So then I'll just be happy with this and thinking, because I'm so much better than this person, maybe they're gonna just hang out with their life, on this, and they're not gonna leave me, or they're not gonna reject me, or they're not gonna, because obviously I'm high value and they're not. So there's a lot happening on the background. But great question, Carol. I agree.
Yeah, and just a great reaction from Angela. And again, I just want to say thank you to you, Angela. You are an amazing lady. Thank you for your authenticity. Big thumbs up to Angela. I'm used to being a wife, not dating. I think that's my issue after 20 years being divorced for 2 years. Now, firstly, I think you should have a chat with the phone with Cristina Davy, obviously, but just a quick reaction to that one. Let's say male, female, husband, wife, whatever. They haven't dated in a long time and they're going to start dating. What are some of your thoughts for people to start dating if they haven't in a long time? What are some of your, I suppose, your beginners' do's and don'ts for dating?
Well, you gotta get some clarity about yourself, okay, and about the person who you want, and that will come also from your relationship vision. What do you want to experience from now on? Some people want a relationship where they just want to have some fun, do some traveling, just have it nice and easy. There are people that they're envisioning the power couple. Let's do like, look, you and Lassie, you're the power couple. You're doing things together, you're building something together, you're creating impact. There are people that just want a family, right? There are people who just want to focus on feeling. So what is it that you really want to experience in that relationship? And because not everybody's going to fit in that.
Right?
Not everybody's going to. So what you need is clarity, and you need to work with someone that's going to tell you how, like, not just going to tell you what to do necessarily, but is going to support you reach your goals. So if we are not aware of what we bring to the table that makes us high value, so we can reach for the high value people and go to those places, right? And if we don't have clarity what high value means for us, so we can recognize it in the room of 10 people, not everybody's going to be high value for you, only one or two.
Yeah.
So you need to get clarity about, or it could be the dating skills are not quite there. You simply don't know how to turn it on, how to really be that, a little bit of a temptress, a little bit of, or it could be that, because especially if you have been in a long-term relationship, right? Sometimes we some parts of us are not online anymore, they're just dormant. So we need to turn it back on, and we have to stop leading with the caretaker.
Yeah.
If you show up as man or woman as a caretaker into dating process, you're going to be friend zone.
Yeah.
No matter how attractive you are, people are not going to stay.
Yeah, there you go. You don't want to get friend zoned. There you go. Don't get friend zoned. That's the ultimate humiliation. And yeah, fascinating. No, I love your work. I've got to say, Angela Johnson, I couldn't agree with Cristina Davy more. My advice to you, and I'm going to say this again, Angela, lose a zero and get yourself a hero. That's what I think. There we go. Love it. Now back. We've got Sue Allison with us. Sue Allison, thank you so much. Oh, correction, Sue Ellison. Pardon me. Sue Ellison, big welcome. And Sue Ellison's got a great question for us. Do you recommend dating websites? I've seen many of the same people on there for years and scammers. Someone's made a joke that all the dating websites should murph and say what's left. Yeah, that's a great one. What's your take on dating websites, Cristina Davy? I have my own thoughts, but let's hear yours first.
I just love what Sue said, the whole what's left thing.
Yeah, it's like the discount. It's like the DFO. It's sort of like all the good stuff gets sold at full price, and then the offcuts go to the DFO at a discount rate. Is that right, or is that really harsh?
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not biting. But here's the thing. I'm actually a firm believer that dating websites or apps or whatever, they're a great tool. But what I'm going to say is this: not everybody knows how to use it. Yeah. Not everybody knows how to create some really cool attraction and connection on messages. Not everybody knows how to take great pictures. Not everybody has the time to share enough about them, or what are they going to share about themselves. This is what I do in my membership, Dating and Loving It. I teach people how to choose magnetic photos. Like I just helped a client in the Dating Confidence Booster for Men, which I'm doing now. It's like to get you jump started into the dating scene if you haven't done it for a while. And I have one for women too. I'm showing you how to choose photos. Not every photo is going to speak to people, it's going to attract. So based on what you want to attract, you gotta, who you are, you gotta show those parts of yourself. So if you learn how to message, how to create a compelling, profile, and how to filter people, this is the biggest thing. People don't know how to filter online. Yeah. So you just need to learn how to utilize this to listen. If you are a chef and you have a very sharp knife, okay, that knife is going to be a great tool. But if you're not a chef and you don't know how to use that, and you're rushing really quick to chop something with a very sharp knife, you might hurt yourself, right? That's how I view online dating. Great tool, but you got to know how to use it. And if you want to know how to learn to use it, let's have a conversation, because I can definitely show you.
I couldn't agree with you more. Online dating is great, but it's all about filtering, making sure A, you're not getting catfished or scammed, and B, the actual person's legit high value. And I love it. And
what's your strategy? People don't realize you need to have a strategy with online dating. If you don't have a strategy, you're gonna get lost in the whole noise of it.
And we've got a great one as well. We've got Ben over on YouTube. Ben over on YouTube, thank you for watching. We streaming on YouTube as well. Cheated on my girlfriend with a girl that I knew was in a relationship. She got off taking a taken guy. I'm with her now, and she's insanely controlling and mean, and I'm stuck with her now. What do you think on that one? What's your retort to that one? Powerfully brilliant, Cristina Davy.
So he cheated on the girlfriend with the girl that he knew.
It was, so in other words, so what I'm gathering from Ben, correct us if I'm wrong. So Ben was in a relationship, cheated with another girl, entered a relationship with the other girl that he cheated on, and now he's with that girl and she's mean and insanely controlling him, and Ben feels stuck in it. I know what I'm going to say, but what do you think? Yeah, what do you think? I know what I'm going to say. What do you think?
I will say that if she's controlling, there are two things. One, obviously, it's about her and her insecurities. Two is she doesn't get enough reassurance from you, to feel, and especially based on how you met, right? She might be thinking you're doing the same thing to her. So that's one thing. But what I'll say, people who are controlling, their needs are not being met. So, she's not feeling reassured. You're not meeting some of her needs, and you need awareness from her. She needs to understand what will help her, and you've got to find a middle way between that. Like, you can get out of that relationship, but unless you learn how to navigate these kind of situations and work on those parts, you're going to create that pattern again with someone else.
Yeah, you're just going to wind up there again, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so Carol, that's what Carol thinks.
The fact that he feels stuck with her tells me he feels stuck with her, tells me that he's not really giving, he's already, pulled himself out of it. He's stuck with her. He doesn't want to be with her. He's stuck with her, right? So that tells me quite a bit in there about what she receives from you at this point.
Yeah. But I reckon I'm going to say, I think it's time to get out of there, Ben. Ben, you're a great guy and you deserve better. I say send her back to the streets is what I think. So next one, right? Now we've got Visha Shah with us, and I think I know what you mean, Visha. I'm going to paraphrase, but I think I know what you mean. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what Vishava is saying is, if you're in a relationship and there's a submissive dominance imbalance, in other words, one person's really dominating the other person, it's getting a bit unhealthy. What do you think of those situations, Cristina, and how do you sort of interrupt them?
Well, so how do you resolve the submissive dominance? All right. I really believe that submissiveness comes from lack of self-worth.
Yeah, I've been there.
And
true.
If you're not going to work on the self-worth, most likely you're gonna keep attracting that kind of situation, because you're not going to be able to place boundaries. And you're not going to be able to say what you need from the other person. So you're just going to be walked all over. So the person who is submissive needs to look at, it's probably having no boundaries and is just kind of following the lead because they don't trust themselves with what they need. They don't have either clarity about that, or they might not be again, it's hard when I don't know the specifics, but I would love to help you with that if you want to book a call. I offer 30 minutes free calls here for whoever is watching this. I'll leave a link as well to book a call, and I can help you in your particular situation when I know the specifics more. But usually submissiveness, and the communication breakdown, it's lack of knowing how to communicate, but it's also it has to do with you might not be able to express because you don't know how to express. You haven't done it before. You might have some rules around, if you express what you think, you're going to cause conflict. You might want to avoid the conflict. So I don't know, I need a little bit more than that to really give you like a solution, so to speak. But the easiest quick will be the submissive person needs to work on their and the dominant needs to start listening and paying attention to the needs of the other person.
And stop being a beater. That's my advice. If you're a beater, stop it. So I used to be a beater back in the day, and I am so ashamed. Don't be a beater. You want to be an alpha, which is really good. And this brings me to one of our final questions, Cristina Davy. And what a great discussion. If you just come in, like, share, comment. Thank you for all those to contribute. If you've got anything to say, pop it in the chat. We'd love to react to it. We're going to finish up in the next few minutes. The other thing is, well, make sure you connect with Cristina Davy and You're Truly on LinkedIn. And we are streaming to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Elon Musk's Twitter X platform. Now, I just want to ask you, just sort of wrap things up, my powerful friend, is this, right? What would you say? Okay, so let's say one of your friends goes through a massive breakup and they're horribly distraught. Now, obviously, we should refer them to Cristina Davy. Beyond that, how do you support someone who's going through a breakup and really suffering the fallout of that?
Sorry, can you ask the question again? I was just reading Vishnu.
There you go. So let's say someone's going through a breakup, right?
Yeah.
And and a friend of yours, and they're really suffering from the fallout. What's your advice to best support that person through the process?
You got to get yourself involved into a project, something to look forward to, because if you're staying in the same routine, you're going to keep looking at what was and missing them. And so you got to come up with some goals and receive some support in keeping accountable and how to really move forward. Breakup is really hard because there are a lot of emotions and we are in the effect of the emotions. Releasing those emotions, which is an easy process, right? I use timeline therapy to do that, and understanding our emotions as well, understanding what we feel, acknowledging that, and being able to process those emotions, being able to process, whatever thoughts, we are telling ourselves. After a breakup, we normally have that negative voice that gets stronger and bigger, telling us this, that, oh, I can't do this. I'm never going to have this. Nobody likes me. I can never, the pain of it, it's so overwhelming. So you got to get involved. You got to start looking forward. Looking forward means get involved into a project, process what you're feeling. You need some help. If you don't know how to do it, you got to acknowledge where are you at. Help yourself with, treat yourself with compassion as well, and being able to get to a level of forgiveness of yourself and the others. Because if you're not being able to forgive, all the yuckiness of all the anger, all the betrayal, the pain, the infidelity, what it is that you're feeling, disgust, the resentment, you're taking that with you in the next relationship. You gotta process that yuckiness in order for you to be able to move, and then have a strategy to reach some goals. So you are focusing on something in the future, not just where you are right now.
Oh, well said, Cristina Davy. You are a rock star, and a big thank you. Now, we better wrap up soon. We've had a great live stream. Love live streaming with you. We're coming up to the hour. And I've got to say, isn't Carol amazing? We love you, Carol. Right on to you, Carol. Carol, you're just an amazing woman. Keep up the great work, Carol.
Many great questions. Thank you, everyone, for participating.
Yeah. Now, Cristina, can we get a closing monologue from you? And we'll finish up on your closing monologue. Over to you, Cristina Davy.
Monologue. I think that if we don't have what we want in any area of our life, including our love life, it means that we haven't become the person who can experience that. It's not outside ourselves, it's in our power. We just need to learn it. So if you're struggling with your relationship, if you're struggling with meeting the right partner, it's only because you're not aware yet about something that you need to change, in order for you to get what you want. So self-awareness and the knowledge that will help you feel competent to do something completely different from now on is what's going to help you reach your goals in your love life.
There we go. What a great closing monologue. So, friends, there you go. Again, I'm a LinkedIn business networking guy. If you want got any relationship questions, please don't ask me because I'll steer you up a cliff. Talk to Cristina Davy. That's what you do. Cristina Davy, thank you so much, my powerful friend. And again, I'm so lucky I know your first name now. I know Christina's real first name, but I'm not going to tell you. You have to sign up Christina to learn her real first name.
I might do a poll.
Yeah,
I
so
might-
you got to guess Christina's real first name. It's actually a cool name. I actually quite like it. Sorry to say it, I actually like your real first name more than the name you're using. I actually really like it. There you go.
a
Sorry to
few
say.
people, a few people have said that to me, but when I was 16, I knew what I knew, and that's I had to go with what I felt.
It's your name, so me and people who disagree, we can take a long, long walk off a short, short pier. Simple as that. There you go. No.
Thank you so much, Edward. You're absolutely awesome. And for those of you who want some support with LinkedIn, don't forget to reach out to Edward because he's absolutely phenomenal. He has helped so much when it comes to LinkedIn, how to create captivating content, how to reach out to people, how to settings, anything about LinkedIn, and sales, and clients. He is the man to go to. So by all means, thank you so much for all your support throughout the years, Edward. You are amazing. You and Lassie, I'm very grateful for both of you. Thank you.
Pleasure. Friends, thank you, everyone. Stay awesome all and keep up the winning, friends. Love your work, everyone. Bye.